In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. And on the seventh day, he rested. But on the eighth day, he created Texas. It's a vast and diverse landscape, from the piney woods and miles of sandy shores along the Gulf Coast to the fields of bluebonnets covering the hill country, the high plains of the Panhandle, and the rugged mountains of the West. Throughout, you'll find horny toads and armadillos, longhorns and jackrabbits. For more than 10,000 years, indigenous tribes have called Texas home. Tribes as diverse as the landscape itself, each adapting their lives to the regions that they populated. Some lived in cliff dwellings, others built mounds. Many were nomadic and followed the herds of animals that they hunted. And then everything changed. In the 1500s, European explorers first arrived in Texas. Both Spain and France attempted to establish colonies in order to control the territory. In 1718, the Spanish established Mission San Antonio de Valero along the San Antonio River. But a hurricane and subsequent flooding forced the mission to be relocated in 1724 to its current location in what is now downtown San Antonio. Though it is hard to tell now, the mission was placed on the highest point in the area, allowing inhabitants to look over the town. The first building was the convento, now known as the long barrack in which the friars lived. Next came the church. Oh, it looked a little bit different than it does today. Inside, the indigenous residents received instruction in the Catholic faith. They learned Spanish and important skills like weaving, farming, masonry, and blacksmithing, becoming a thriving community of parishioners and Spanish subjects all together on the frontier. Part of the success of San Antonio missions was thanks to a complex system of waterways called acequias. The network of trenched waterways ran parallel to the river and diverted water to the farmlands and the town. These acequias served as a life source amidst the arid landscape, providing critical water from the river to areas too far to reach. By 1793, Mission San Antonio de Valero had fulfilled its goal to establish a thriving community in New Spain's northern frontier and was secularized. The land was divided up amongst the residents. Meanwhile, unrest caused by the French sale of Louisiana to the United States threatened Spain's hold on Texas. La Segunda Compañía Volante de San Carlos de Paras, also known as Alamo Company, arrived in 1803 to establish a military outpost. In 1821, Mexico gained independence from Spain, and Texas became one of its states. American colonists, led by Stephen F. Austin, an early impresario or land agent, began moving to Texas, attracted by the promise of cheap land and opportunity. In 1833, Antonio Lopez de Santa Anna was elected president of Mexico and abolished the Constitution, prompting the Texas independence movement. Amidst the growing tension, the Mexican army was sent to Gonzales to recover a cannon in October 1835, but the townspeople refused to give it up and in an act of defiance exclaimed, "Come and take it." A skirmish followed, but the men of Gonzales held on to the cannon, emboldening the Texian army, and with that, the Texas Revolution had begun. General Santa Anna and the Mexican army arrived at the Alamo on February 23, 1836, to crush the Texian rebellion. Santa Anna ordered a red flag to be flown over the nearby San Fernando Church to show that no quarter would be given, no mercy shown to any combatants. The following day, William B. Travis sent out an urgent call for help. I am besieged by 1,000 or more of the Mexicans under Santa Anna. I have sustained a continual bombardment and cannonade for 24 hours and have not lost a man. I shall never surrender or retreat. Then I call on you in the name of liberty, of patriotism, and everything dear to the American character to come to our aid. If this call is neglected, I am determined to sustain myself as long as possible and fight like a soldier who never forgets what is due his own honor and that of his country. Victory or death. For 12 days, the defenders were besieged with cannon fire day and night. They were exhausted and outnumbered, but they held strong and remained committed to the cause. In the dead of night, on March 6, 1836, the Mexican army approached, quietly taking position just 200 yards from the fort walls. They attacked before dawn. The battle lasted just 90 minutes, and in the end, the Alamo fell. All defenders perished. What these defenders didn't know was that a few days earlier, on March 2nd, a group of delegates, including 2 from the Alamo and 2 from Behar, convened at Washington on the Brazos and signed the Texas Declaration of Independence, breaking away from Mexico and effectively creating the Republic of Texas. Yet, the revolution continued for another 6 weeks, until the afternoon of April 21st, 1836, while Santa Anna's army rested on the banks of the San Jacinto River, the Texan army, led by General Sam Houston, launched a surprise attack. Outnumbered again, but buoyed by defiance and outrage, the men cried, "Remember the Alamo! Remember Goliad, God, and Texas!" The battle lasted only 18 minutes and was a resounding victory for the Texans. For almost 10 years, the Republic of Texas struggled, the future uncertain. There were fundamental disagreements between the leaders of the government, including the first 2 presidents, Sam Houston and Mirabeau B. Lamar. Still not recognizing the legitimacy of the Declaration of Independence, the Mexican army invaded on several occasions, prompting the Republic to seek a more stable future. So, in 1845, Texas joined the United States as the 28th state. The Alamo became a military outpost for the U.S. quartermaster. During this time, the Army completed the still unfinished church, added a roof, and the iconic parapet. In 1877, the U.S. Army left the Alamo for Fort Sam Houston. As the city grew, so did the need for commerce. The Alamo Church and the Long Barrack were used by merchants, serving as a general store and a museum. In 1883, the church was purchased by the state of Texas. In 1905, Clara Driscoll and Adina de Zavala helped save the Alamo from destruction. Gardens were established in the courtyards behind the church and the Long Barrack as a place for public reflections. And so the Alamo was saved and returned to the people of Texas. Today, the Alamo is a world-renowned landmark visited by more than 1.6 million visitors a year. It serves as a symbol of bravery in the face of overwhelming odds. Its iconic past shaped the qualities Texans are still known for: independence, pride, and a can-do spirit. These qualities have led Texas to become a leader in the U.S. and the world in industries like aerospace, technology, ranching, and oil and gas. As the saying goes, you can't keep a Texan down. The Alamo is at the heart of the Texas identity, and we are making big plans to honor that legacy, including the construction of a 160,000 square foot visitor center and museum where the full history of the site can be told, and an education center which will inspire thousands of school kids each year. In addition, improvements to the entire complex will bring reverence and respect to this most sacred of spaces. So, in the inspiring words of William Barrett Travis, We call on the people of Texas and all Americans in the world, in the name of liberty, patriotism, and everything dear to the American character, to come to our aid. Help keep the spirit of Texas alive and ensure that the Alamo, the shrine of Texas liberty, stands strong for many generations to come. This is Pat Green. I'm a proud native of San Antonio, Texas. Remember the Alamo.